If you vote and you elect dishonest, incompetent people and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote,
people with power or in power hate two things, and I mean they really hate these two things. The first is losing any power whatsoever. I mean, they honestly don't know how to wipe their own asses. So the idea that someone won't do something for them and they have to do it for themselves, it's a personal obscenity. But the other part that drives them crazy? Making fun of them. Yeah, it's a real sign of both weakness and, in the case of Trump and Musk, mental illness. Here's an example of a funny observation, but it also tells something about you. If you saw Trump Jr. walking across an icy parking lot and he slipped and fell, you'd laugh because he's a tremendous prick and has said horrible things about people with less power than him. That fall symbolizes irony and it releases tension and causes you to laugh. But orchestrating that scenario through dialogue is what comedians do, and when they do it right, it's truly art. And there's no one right now with that ability to smack you down like Bill Burr.
It's funny, I made fun of the fucking Twitter guy for fucking Sieg Heiling not once but twice, and I never look at my emails. I was scrolling through my emails and it said my Twitter account had been flagged for I don't even tweet anymore. It had been flagged for it. What a fucking baby, just like Hitler. Because that's another thing, all of these people that are into fucking Hitler, you know what I mean? And like, look at this guy like he was some sort of fucking hero. The guy's one of the biggest fucking cowards ever. All the pain and all the suffering that guy's caused, and the war crimes the Allies had to commit, firebombing fucking cities to get that motherfucker. When it came time for him to pay the price for all the suffering he caused millions and millions and millions of people, did he face the music? No, he gave himself a nice, quick, painless fucking death. That's your fucking hero? Coward is what he was. This is the world we live in, where you got to remind people that guy was a bad guy that destroyed millions of people's lives, families, and his own country. His own countrymen paid the price for what he did. And this is another thing, too. Oh, that guy went straight to hell. It's like, how does he go straight to hell? What does God say about that? He made that guy. How about the fact that the Twitter guy he's not even from here. He's from South Africa. He comes to this country and wants to turn it into a fucking dictatorship. He doesn't feel that we deserve democracy. Can you just imagine doing that? Going to another country and just deciding, yeah, you know what? I'm going to change this form of government because I've decided. Yeah, he doesn't mind living under a dictatorship as long as he's on the good side of it. Fucking laminated face. Hey, now what are you going to do? Reflag my account?
When it comes to intellectual attacks, Jon Stewart might be the GOAT. I mean, he's been at it 35 years.
In Trump's defense, he did explain today why we're going after Canada.
I mean, I look at some of the deals made, I say, who the hell made these deals that are so bad?
So bad. The trade deals with Canada, they're so bad. He's just looking and saying, who made these? Ladies and gentlemen, don't get ahead of me. Ladies and gentlemen, for your dining and dancing pleasure, come with me into the Wayback Machine to 2018.
This morning, President Trump signed a new trade deal to replace NAFTA with the leaders of Mexico and Canada.
The best trade deal they say ever made.
No! A deal done by Trump's greatest nemesis, Trump.
But Bill Burr has a real talent for saying what needs to be said and a voice that does not suffer fools. And Burr's comedy directed at Musk is what so many Americans are thinking. It necessitates frankness because there's so much on the line. And to be honest, this just isn't political comedy. It's a raw attack on privileged assholes. I've done stand-up since 1980, and when my kids were born, I opened comedy clubs and was fortunate to have the world's best comics in my clubs, from Bill Maher to Ray Romano to newcomers like Wanda Sykes and Martin Lawrence. But no one pushed the envelope like Bill Burr version 1.0. It was a guy named Bill Hicks.
I'll show you politics in America. Here it is, right here. I think the puppet on the right shares my beliefs. I think the puppet on the left is more to my liking. Hey, wait a minute. There's one guy holding up both puppets. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control.
Of course, Bill Hicks was preceded by George Carlin, who was and is the best baseline for any serious comic.
Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck.
Yeah!
Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks.
And George Carlin was preceded by the Smothers Brothers in the late 60s. They were canceled in the middle of the Vietnam War for, well, telling the truth.
On April 4th, 1969, CBS Chairman William Paley made a shocking announcement. After months of escalating battles over content, the network was immediately canceling its highest-rated program.
The bottom line for Americans today is simple, and you might want to write this down. Never trust anyone who can't take a joke. Never. And that's Trump, who has attacked comedians repeatedly and has never, and I dare you to find one instance, ever poked fun at himself because he's incapable. And when you're a comic and you see that, you have to go after them.
Donald Trump is firing back at SNL today, slamming them for making jokes about the attempt on his life.
We love my rallies, except when someone does bing bong, bing, 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 right at me.
And watch this. As the actor playing J.D. Vance comes to the podium, Trump leaves and takes the bulletproof glass with him.
But today, the comedy with the fewest filters comes from Bill Burr, and truthfully, he's not a liberal. He's gotten shit from both sides. Most recently about being woke, whatever that is. I interviewed him about woke culture last year.
Joining me right now is comedian Bill Burr. Tickets went on sale for today for a show next month at Oakland's Fox Theater. Bill, great to have you here. Let me ask you this question right up front. You just heard that story. How do you navigate comedy today under this magnifying glass?
Well, I mean, when I first started, I started in 92. By 93, Bill Maher had Politically Incorrect. So political correctness was around then. There wasn't like the social media and the fingerprints of your tweets from 8 or 9 years ago and stuff. So it has gotten more intense, but no, I don't really think about it because, you know, 90% of people are just trying to not get in trouble. And then everybody else is like flapping their arms. Like there's a big dust up going on always in my business. And most of the time, you know, the amount of dust people are kicking up is not proportioned to like where people's feelings are really at. Now, I'm not talking about like homophobia or racism or stuff like that.
Right.
Because then you're dealing with, you know, white people just ignorant and don't care. That shouldn't count against it. I'm just talking about like, you know, going back into people's like Twitter history. It's like, I think if you have to go back 7 years before you find something, the guy's a pretty good person.
But what makes Bill Burr's comedy really hit home is not that he doesn't care about the world and he'll say anything. It's the complete opposite. He cares so much that it hurts. And that's the first part of great comedy. Swing hard every time, just in case you hit something. Trump will always be an easy mark, with Musk, Vance, Rubio, and the rest a close second.
Where my comedy act is right now is I'm trying to get regular people to stop yelling at each other and realize that it's a select few group of nerds, okay, eating raw almonds and doing their stupid workouts and everything and just competing with each other to have the biggest infinity pool, and the rest of us are getting pushed down. And they've politicized the whole stupid thing, and we're falling for it.
And who's the they? Besides the people who eat almonds?
That idiot Elon Musk.
Oh.
That guy, like, he's going to, like, who evidently is a Nazi. Like, I just refuse to believe that it was an accidental 2-time Sieg Heil.
And if America's looking for weapons against the oligarchs and the Nazis, yeah, you're going to need serious people in serious positions to make it all work. And it won't be easy. But equally important will be a healthy perspective. A perspective that we will rise above this bullshit and be, as Nietzsche said, stronger for it. And comedy is a great way to fight back. That's probably why we call it a punchline.
That is crazy.
Disgusting.
Bloated and fat and disgusting.
Oh, I like that.
Damn right. You're a nasty person.
I'm as mad as hell. I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.